Thanks for joining us on 9 News at noon. I'm Anusha Roy. A teacher at a Greeley elementary school has been arrested on accusations he assaulted a 6-year-old student. School district officials were notified at the end of August about this alleged assault at Maplewood Elementary. 40-year-old Joshua Wayne Scott was then put on administrative leave not long after, and then he was arrested last Wednesday. A letter went out to parents yesterday. Wayne Scott has been charged with felony assault, strangulation, and misdemeanor child abuse, but police have not given any more details beyond that. His first court hearing is coming up next week. Today in court, we learned the family of the Boulder King Super shooter did not seek help for mental health issues they saw before the attack. Multiple doctors have now since concluded that he suffered from schizophrenia. His parents and several siblings all acknowledged that they did not try to get help before the killings in March of 2021. An expert told the jury that culture and stigma played a role.
Many times individuals with mental health problems may perceive these problems as personal failures rather than a health problem. They may also perceive it as not being religious enough or not doing their religious duties as well as they should. There is also a lot of fear about, well, what will people say about us?
The shooter has pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Despite the diagnosis of schizophrenia, those same doctors concluded he was sane on the day of the attack. Testimony is expected to conclude today. We'll have much more on 9 News starting at 3 o'clock. Denver police is looking for the person who opened fire on an RTD bus late yesterday afternoon. One person was shot while on that bus near 15th and Tremont, but is expected to be okay. The victim was able to take themselves to the hospital. Police haven't released any suspect information at this time. We do have some encouraging news this afternoon on the Pearl fire that is burning in Larimer County. The U.S. Forest Service says it is 5% contained and has not had any growth in the last 24 hours. That is despite yesterday's strong winds. Here's 9 News reporter Courtney Yoon with more.
These are new photos of the first hours of the fire shared by Grant Hughes. He says he took these from the Beaver Meadows entrance about 3 hours after the fire began on Monday. You can see the column of smoke coming up from the flames. It was definitely noticeable. Since then, different aircraft have dumped water and fire retardant on the flames as more firefighters on the ground worked on setting up containment lines. Those efforts helped keep the fire's perimeter from growing despite concerns of 40-mile-per-hour winds. The fire is about 128 acres in size right now and again is 5% contained. It's located about 5 miles northwest of Red Feather Lakes. Crews are focusing on the eastern side of the fire, which is closest to homes, and they're working hard to get people back into their houses soon.
I was about ready to leave, and then I just saw how they were knocking it down. Thank God the wind was blowing west yesterday, so I felt comfortable.
Here's a look at the evacuation map right now. Officials have pulled back on the mandatory evacuations from yesterday. There is still a chunk of area under those mandatory orders, the areas in red. The areas in yellow are considered voluntary evacuations. We have a full list of the evacuations and the locations of shelters for people and animals on our website, 9news.com. We also have been told by the Larimer County Sheriff's Office that this fire originated on private property and it was human caused. They did identify the person who caused the fire and have spoken to them, but they haven't released details on that conversation yet, saying that the investigation is still ongoing. In Larimer County, Courtney Yoon, 9 News.
Yesterday is being called the stormiest September day in Colorado history. Today, we're talking about pretty much the opposite. It's going to be sunny and warm. We've got Keely here with us today. And Keely, you've got a couple more days where it still feels like summer. And then right when it becomes fall, it actually going to feel like fall.
It's going to feel like fall. It's going to feel cooler than normal, in fact, on Sunday, the first official day of fall. But yes, just a little breezy out there right now, much quieter than yesterday. And like you said, we had the National Weather Service issued 28 severe thunderstorm warnings yesterday, and that did make it the most severe thunderstorm warnings issued on a September day in Colorado history. A little deceiving, those were fast-moving storms. They moved in, they produced very strong, potentially damaging winds, and then moved out. So again, fast-moving storms, but when they were here and overhead, they did produce, again, very, very strong winds gusts in some areas over 70 miles per hour. We're going to talk more about that coming up in your full forecast. Let's check out those current temperatures out there right now. We're in the 70s, low 80s. 80s out across the plains, 50s and 60s in the mountains. Your forecast for the Denver metro area, 83 degrees, your forecast high, sunny and warm, breezy in the foothills. Those winds shifting to the north-northeast as we head into the afternoon hours. Those winds still going to be pretty strong out on the plain. We're looking at 20+ mile-per-hour winds, but those winds gusting up in the high country, they're going to be up in the foothills and high country. They're going to be up to 30-40 miles per hour as we head into the afternoon. So your weather impact headlines, warm into the week. We are looking very summer-like until Saturday and Sunday. Then we have a weekend storm moving in that's going to drop those temperatures and bringing us a good amount of rain Saturday into Sunday morning. Fall arrives. It's going to feel like fall on Sunday. We'll talk more about that and that storm potentially impactful weather for the weekend coming up in your full forecast in just a bit.
Thanks so much for that, Keely. Right now, part of US 40 in northwestern Colorado is closed, and CDOT crews are working to move a giant boulder from the roadway. It fell on the highway this morning near the town of Milner. It's about west of Steamboat Springs. Specialized teams are working to remove it, and CDOT officials do not know when the road will reopen. Well, just in the last couple of minutes, the Federal Reserve just announced the country's key interest rate is now being cut by 0.5%. This is the first rate cut in 4 years. A lot of people anticipating this news. The cut could be impacting credit card, home, and auto interest rates as well. We'll have more on the impact later today on 9 News. House lawmakers are expected to vote today on a 6-month GOP government funding plan, but it is expected to fail. Funding for the government is once again expected to run out. Lawmakers have until the end of the month to pass a plan. A major issue with the current bill is a controversial measure that is targeting non-citizen voting. A homeless resource center could be coming to the city of Arvada. The city held a town hall meeting last night to lay out the idea of transforming the former Early College of Arvada into a navigation center. Arvada Mayor Lauren Simpson says the navigation center would be a bridge to housing resources. City officials say data shows its unhoused population grew from 200 to 300 between 2022 and 23. And a 2023 community survey found nearly 42% of people approved of a navigation center. The mayor says that there are a lot of questions, such as will there be referrals for entry, or is this going to be private? She also says a nonprofit will need to be selected to run the center. A judge issued a temporary order that is allowing dozens of CU students to stay in the apartment building that the city of Boulder wants to shut down. The city issued a move-out order for Ash House on University Hill on Monday because the property owner had added additional bedrooms without city approval. The owner then petitioned the Boulder County District Court to temporarily stop the city from enforcing that order. The judge ended up siding with the property owner. There's going to be another hearing next Thursday.